Governor, we have a White House coordinating with the people working to destroy Joe Biden's opponent politically, while also inviting the media to Delaware to train them on how to report on Joe Biden's great success as a president. What country do we live in?
Well, it used to be America, but that was back when we had an independent and responsible group of journalists that would report. And even though they had biases, they kind of kept them to themselves because they knew that they had a job to do, and that job was to speak truth to power. These folks basically go to Wilmington, and they're going to get a tongue bath by the Biden people. They're going to be treated to wonderful food, and they'll hear all the propaganda. And the worst part, they'll believe everything they're told.
Sure.
And they'll go back and report it just like they're told. And that's a real problem. It's not just an issue of journalism. It's election interference in the purest form. All this nonsense about Donald Trump being influenced by the Russians and the Russians trying to influence the election, forget the Russians. They had nothing. What we've got is American journalists, and they're the ones who are trying to influence and basically create an election narrative for Joe Biden.
Dr. Gorka, imagine Trump invites the media to Mar-a-Lago for a big steak dinner and to tell them how they can report more fairly on the Trump administration.
I can't imagine it because I worked in his White House and the media hated us.
Yeah.
I had a rather weird reputation because I refused to talk with them on record, off record, and on background. And I'd tell my colleagues, why would I talk to these scum? They hate me, they hate the president, and they hate the 64 million Americans who voted for him. So the idea that they'd even come to, look, the coconut shrimp is very good, but even that would not have enticed them. Let's be clear what's happening here. When our republic was born, it was unique. It was born out of what? The sovereignty of the people, right? Not a king, not a dynasty, not some elite, the sovereignty of the people. It was revolutionary. So how about this crazy idea? How about we let the American people choose their president? Don't put him in prison. Don't remove his name from ballots. How about a crazy idea? Let the American people choose. If they don't want him, they don't want him. If they do, then shouldn't that be the outcome of an American election, Rob?
Well, they can't let that happen. The elites know better than us. Sebastian, don't you know that by now? The left elites, they're the ones that know what's best for society. Right? They can't be having no democracy. Get out of here. Governor, allegations Fani Willis is sleeping with her own special prosecutor. And they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees that he's getting from doing this case that Fani hired him for to travel the world together. That, along with the allegations that the special prosecutor was meeting with the White House, all of that. Your thoughts?
You know, the Old Testament story of Mordecai and Haman. Haman was a guy who hated Mordecai and hated Esther and was going to build gallows to have them hanged. Turned out that the only person got hanged on those gallows was Haman, the guy that dreamt it all up. I think what we were seeing, Fani Willis is likely to end up being the person who gets criminally charged for the fraud of having her lover and her make a whole bunch of money off the taxpayer so they could live large, and all in the name of trying to go after Donald Trump. It's just beyond a scandal. She should be disbarred, but she should be criminally charged for it.
Dr. Gorka, final thoughts.
It's as the good governor said, all of this is election interference. And as you said, Rob, the elite think they know better. No human in history has received 133 million votes in 2 elections to the presidency. Only one man, my former boss. If they're afraid of him, there's a good reason they're afraid of him, because it's their corruption that he's going to end. That's why Fani Willis, that's why Engoron, that's why Chutkan, that's why Jack Smith, because their gravy train ends in a second Trump administration.
Nice job remembering all the names together, too. Sebastian, Gorka, Governor Huckabee, we appreciate you both. Thank you so much.